fancy drag queen, well perhaps you're gay. Is there a point to all these fancy clothes? With all these buckles from your head down to your toes. It's very simple, but I'm just another girl. It's not so easy, but I'm giving it a whirl. This is something that you're trying to prove. With all the makeup and the way you move. Are you looking for some sympathy? No, I'm trying to be the best girl I can be. Very simple, but I'm just another girl. It's not so easy, but I'm giving it a whirl. Like my martinis dry, cosmos I won't deny. Smoke those long cigarettes. Thank God I'm not dead yet. Done all these crazy things, short of a wedding ring. Just
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Callista Solon, and this is nlcTrans. With me tonight, our usual co-hosts, Stacy Dozier and Tara Alexander. We also have a special guest tonight, a member of our organization. This is Joslynne Bellevue, and she's going to tell us her story shortly. First, I wanted to talk just very briefly about something that's sort of near and dear to our hearts and something we've been talking a lot about of late, and that is the same-sex marriage issue. And certainly today, if I'm not mistaken, was the first day that people were being married in this state, and we're very proud of the state of Connecticut for doing this, for our Supreme Court upholding this, and certainly for the defeat of question 1 on the ballot, which would have given us the Constitutional Convention. But anyway, one of the really interesting things here tonight, we're going to talk about a lot of things on tonight's show. Actually, we were probably going to devote this entire show to my love life. What's that? No? Oh, okay, all right. So I'm just kidding. Maybe the next show we'll devote to my love life or lack thereof. Anyway, Tara managed to get us a wonderful film clip, courtesy of MSNBC. They were nice enough to grant us permission to use this. And I have not actually seen this clip because I live in the Stone Age and don't have cable TV or satellite or any of that. But I did read the transcript of this, and it's truly wonderful. And I'm looking forward to seeing this, and I'm going to get to see it here momentarily. But it was really very nice of MSNBC to allow us to do that, and thank you for contacting them and asking them. I was a little surprised by the whole thing, but tell us a little bit about this, Tara.
Well, it was something that when I saw it on TV, it really hit home. Keith Olbermann on Countdown, one of MSNBC's nighttime news shows, they actually did a segment on gay marriage. He does a segment sometimes called a special comment when he has a personal opinion about something that's going on. And what struck me was we've talked a lot about gay marriage on our show and amongst ourselves, and one of the issues that always comes up is the fact that the idea of marriage equality, and that this is a constitutional right. This was a constitutional right in California, just like Connecticut's Supreme Court said that you can't restrict marriage to only people of certain sexual orientations. California's Supreme Court did too. And the idea that people could come along and take that away is very disturbing. I have some information about it, but I think we want to go to the clip first and see. So this was broadcast originally on the 10th, on Monday. If Reggie and Joe can run the clip.
Finally, tonight, as promised, a special comment on the passage last week of Proposition 8 in California, which rescinded the right of same-sex couples to marry and tilted the balance on this issue from coast to coast. Some parameters as preface. This isn't about yelling, and this isn't about politics, and this isn't really just about Prop 8. And I don't have a personal investment in this. I'm not gay. I had to strain to think of one member of even my very extended family who is. I have no personal stories of close friends or colleagues fighting prejudice that still pervades their lives. And yet, to me, this vote is horrible. Horrible. Because this isn't about yelling, and this isn't about politics. This is about the human heart. And if that sounds corny, so be it. If you voted for this proposition, or you support those who did, or the sentiment they expressed, I have some questions, because truly, I do not understand. Why does this matter to you? What is it to you? In a time of impermanence and fly-by-night relationships, these people over here want the same chance at permanence and happiness that is your option. They don't want to deny you yours. They don't want to take anything away from you. They want what you want, a chance to be a little less alone in the world. Only now you are saying to them, no, you can't have it on these terms. Maybe something similar if they behave, if they don't cause too much trouble. You'll even give them all the same legal rights, even as you are taking away the legal right which they already had. A world around them still anchored in love and marriage, and you're saying, no, you can't marry. What if somebody passed a law that said you couldn't marry? I keep hearing this term, redefining marriage. If this country hadn't redefined marriage, black people still couldn't marry white people. 16 states had laws on the books which made that illegal in 1967. 1967. The parents of the president-elect of the United States could not have married in nearly 1/3 of the states of the country their son grew up to lead. But it's worse than that. If this country had not redefined marriage, some black people still couldn't marry other black people. It is one of the most overlooked and cruelest parts of our sad history of slavery. Marriages were not legally recognized if the people were slaves. Since slaves were property, they could not be legally husband and wife, nor mother and child. Their marriage vows were different. Not until death do you part, but until death or distance do you part. Marriages among slaves were not legally recognized. You know, just like marriages today in California are not legally recognized if the people are gay. And uncountable in our history are the number of men and women forced by society into marrying the opposite sex in sham marriages, or marriages of convenience, or just marriages of not knowing. Centuries of men and women who have lived their lives in shame and unhappiness, and who have, through a lie to themselves or others, broken countless other lives of spouses and children, all because we said a man could not marry another man, or a woman could not marry another woman. The sanctity of marriage. How many marriages like that have there been? And how on earth do they increase the sanctity of marriage rather than render that term meaningless? What is this to you? Nobody is asking you to embrace their expression of love. But don't you as human beings have to embrace that love? The world is barren enough. It is stacked against love and against hope and against those very few and precious emotions that enable us, all of us, to go forward. Your marriage only stands a 50-50 chance of lasting, no matter how much you feel and how hard you work. And here are people overjoyed at the prospect of just that chance and that work just for the hope of having that feeling. With so much hate in the world, with so much meaningless division, and people pitted against each other for no good reason, this is what your religion tells you to do? With your experience of life and this world and all its sadnesses, this is what your conscience tells you to do? With your knowledge that life, with endless vigor, seems to tilt the playing field in which we all live in favor of unhappiness and hate, this is what your heart tells you to do? You want to sanctify marriage? You want to honor your God and the universal